So we having echoes today, y'all. So we're going off and on mute. Um, but hey, everybody. My name is Tony McNeil. I am the facilitator and the host and the founder of Anti-Black Conversations. And today we're having a conversation that is not necessarily, it is centered and grounded on something, but this is our monthly Queen Consortium. I hope I said it right, Donna, because you was chopping me up the last. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. I've been practicing consortium. So today we are having our monthly Queen Consortium, and I'm always bringing in my tap out crew, folks that I vibe with on a regular, in order to make sure that we've got multiple voices of queens in this space. So I'm going to have us go around and just introduce ourselves real quick. Like I said, my name is Tony McNeil. And so I'm going to pop it over. Oh, and I'm doing good. I got COVID cooties. Just so that y'all know, this is what bougie COVID look like, I guess. I don't know. And I'm grateful. I ain't complaining because I don't want, it to get worse. But yes, I had light symptoms from COVID, been down for a week, and now I'm just anxiously awaiting for the little stick that looked like a pregnancy test, but it's an actual COVID test, to come back negative instead of positive, so because I can go outside and play. So yeah, that's me. I'll popcorn it over to Donna. How you doing?
Well, I am tuning in or streaming in all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's 6 o'clock and it's kind of like the end of my day. I'm doing all right, just chillaxing and ready to get into a good conversation and share some information and some insight and get some love from my girls. So I'm excited to be here with the queens.
You supposed to pop it over to somebody. So LaDonna, you gonna go next.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna pop it. I'm gonna pop it on. I'm gonna pop it on to my baby mama, Mama Tama.
Hey, baby mama. We'll explain that in another conversation. Hi, everybody. I'm Tama Brisbane, Executive Director With Our Words, Stockton Poet Laureate, and a few other things. I think I ride shotgun on the road trips with the Queen Consortium. So that's my position. That's my role. I am the one that takes all of those stunning photographs of Tony that you see on Facebook and social media. That's me. And I'm having a good day today. I am practicing the concept of not, because sometimes you just have to not do, not say, not make lists, right? Oh, wait till I show you my walking stick, Tony. Anyway, practicing not doing as much, not doing so much, just not. Same way I make elder a verb, I have decided to make not a verb. And I am practicing it wholeheartedly today. Cheers, everybody. And I'm going to popcorn it over to Tisha.
I don't know what I want to be. I don't think I'm nobody baby mama. That's what I'm not. I could be something else. You got to think of it, Donna. Anyways, my name is Letitia. I'm so happy to be here today. It gets a little weird with life where you're just not tapping in as much. So this is one way that I'm able to tap in with my girlfriends. I love how Thomas says she rides shotgun. And that is not literally, because sometimes I'm in the front seat, Tama in the back, but she riding shotgun. So, it's one of those things where she know her position. I think I'm the one that I'm the yes man. What we gonna do? Set it off. Where we going? Let's go over the hill. Let's go. Let's not go to jail. That's who I am in the tap up group. Come on, let's try this.
She the hype man. She the hype man.
I'm the hype man, you know.
And the instigator. Don't forget
And we have a
instigator.
good time. So I just, you know, this whole thing was set up on a road trip. And I mean, the chatter between us four was crazy, you know, and the challenges. So, you know, that's why I am here, is just to give you guys a little taste of what queens really do. You know, we not only do we straighten your crown, we might let you know that it ain't as fly as you think it is. So that is the truth. And it could be better. So, but all in love, all in love. I'm Letitia.
Come on, Miss LaDonna, tap in.
Well, okay. Seeing as y'all all know each other and
She's
y'all
my
all rock.
Sacramento family, so I need y'all to know this is my Sacramento sister.
Hold on, wait a
Madonna.
minute.
I'm a fan, sugar.
What's your Facebook handle?
LaDonna Lee.
It ain't Tia Hairston. It ain't.
No, that's not Tia. I met her though in Tia's space. Come on, introduce yourself, Donna. LaDonna.
Yeah.
So I'm low key. I don't know if I'm at y'all remember in college when the sororities would be getting ready to set up a new line and they would rush and you would come to the informational. I low key feel like that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm a pledge or interest or little sister. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm with it. I am with the filling in. I'm with it. I am LaDonna Lee. I'm a Sacramento native. I am the founder of the Mantis Moon Temple, which is a healing sanctuary for women who are surviving and thriving after loss. I am a twin, a sister, a mother, a staunch advocate for Black women and Black people. And yeah, I think I'll stop there. I won't go any further, but I'm pleased to be here. I'm happy to meet y'all and I'm ready to rock.
Nice to meet you, LaDonna.
I follow you. I know I do. I do. Yeah. All right now.
So today, y'all, and because of the echo, we have to just go on and off mute. And I'm so sorry about that. We're gonna try to figure it out. But today, you guys, we are having a conversation about self-care. And my motto is always self-care is self-love. And so I don't know if anybody else has a motto, but I've been rocking with that one. And so I have been telling myself for real that there is no way that I can love my neighbor if I don't love myself. Because, you know, the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? And then I started thinking about that thing. And I was like, well, if I don't love myself, then how in the heck I'm going to love my neighbor? I thought I was operating in real love until I realized that I wasn't even operating in self-love. So I got real stingy with it. And I started practicing self-love, or at least I thought I was for a minute. But eventually I started figuring it out. I thought that self-care, you know, was the practice of self-love. But I started realizing that there were some other things that I needed to implement in that. So I was getting my nails done and I was like, okay, I'm practicing, you know, this is self-care. And I'm keeping my hair done. And I was like, oh, that's good. This is self-care, you know. Every now and again, you know, I go and get me, you know, a new shirt or a new blouse, right? And I'm practicing self-care. And at some point, it was like that was still not enough because my nails was fly all the time. Right. But I still wasn't feeling a sense of self-love and worth and value. I was still burnt out. I was still exhausted. New shoes, new suits. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. And I still look, LaDonna had open wounds on my leg. 2 years, open wound, 18 months, open wound on my leg. Tama, right? My nails was fly. Hair was laid. Stayed with a fresh cut or a do. I looked good. I would have open wounds with the gauze on my leg tissue. Remember, I would put the intake scrub in and put the pat stuff over it and everything, and put on my tights so that you couldn't see them, and be in some nice fly heels and a pretty dress or suit. Singing, preaching, traveling, doing all of that stuff. So apparently there was something that was mixed up about it. I don't want to dominate the whole space. What I want to do is just say that I realized along the line, y'all, that at some point, Sister Girl was not operating from a place of true self-care and true self-love. Tell me, you came off of mute.
Oh, that was me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was writing a note, and self-love is not always proactive. Sometimes it's retractive, which means that you take away things. We are socialized to define and experience self-love as the things maybe that we add to ourselves. Like we get the nails done. We do the retail therapy. We do the massage because that's all adding comfort and expression to our surface. And sometimes self-love is the things that you retract. I'm not going to do this project. I'm not going to attend this event. I'm going to shrink my circle. I'm going to take away things that pull on me, and retracting, not casting that wide net and being available for any and everything and any and everybody. Retracting your sphere of influence and interaction is also another form of self-love. That teeny little tiny word that we sometimes got to say with a tear, no. That's self-love as well.
Anybody want to add to that? What is self-love? What do y'all think self-love is? Or what's the difference? Self-love, self-care? What do you think it is? I know who I'm rocking with. Y'all sitting there cute, but I was like,
So
Okay. You
right now I'm taking this ethics class, and we are discussing something called the desire fulfillment theory. And I'm bringing it up because the words make sense. I don't quite understand the theory, so I'm not going to try to break it all down to y'all. But the basic idea is when you want a thing, and then you get that thing, that promotes your well-being, right?
mm-hmm.
So and then going off of what Tama just said about removing things, that can feel really difficult because, like she said, we're conditioned to believe that being cared for is adding on. So I lost my train of thought in there, but it's something about desire and fulfillment, love and care, and really trying to understand what those things mean on a personal level, in an intrinsic way instead of a programmed way, like what we've told it is.
Miss Donna?
Let me just say, I kind of got that abusive self-love, you know. You know, that self-love that ain't consistent. You know, they got you wondering about yourself all the time. That's gaslighting you. You know, and it ebbs and flows. And so my stuff ain't always pretty. And I probably, you know, sometimes will bring the other side of things, you know, the things that we might not want to talk about, you know, the parts of us that we don't necessarily show love to, but we need to, you know, whether it's thick thighs or hypersexuality or overeating, whatever that thing is for you. You know, for me, it's sugary drinks. I can't stop drinking the sugary drinks, and I'm diabetic, and I need to stop. I need to quit it. self-love would make me do that. But my love for sugar is like, so anyway, that's where I'm at right now with self-love. I'm working on learning to love my body in a way that will promote a higher quality of health.
I think that I want to know. I guess what I want to know when we're saying that is, I want to go so many places with that, because it took me a long time to even love myself enough to commit to the self care that I needed in order to show myself love. So what makes you, and by the way, y'all, just so that y'all know, not that it's anybody's business or I should care. But I'm drinking Joppa. Is it Joppa? Joppa juice. Because it's supposed to make me healthy and stuff. It's really good. And I've been drinking one a day. So I just wanted y'all to know I'm not like tossing up. I'm not drinking. I do drink, but I'm not drinking right now.
Well, I finished mine, so I might go get a refill.
This is 20-year-old port without apology.
Ooh, yes. I like that.
But why do you love? What is making it so difficult? Like you just almost died from diabetes. You was down here last time, and so I mean, you just almost died. Like
I didn't have no insulin. I got insulin now.
you,
No, I'm just being real. It's my Achilles heel. We all got one. My love shows up in other areas of my life.
I just got rid of an Achilles heel. LaDonna.
Oh, you talking to LaDonna? So we got LaDonna, Donna Marie, and Letitia.
Mm-hmm.
Over there doing, what you doing, Tish?
Taking notes because she got stuff crossing her mind.
What you doing? Go and take yourself off mute.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take myself off mute because self-care, self-love is a hard thing for me. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because if it was nails and pedicures, I don't like neither. Okay, because I hate going to the nail shop. And I found myself in the lowest self-love, self-respect when I was brokenhearted. And, a lot of it was always contingent on the aftermath of a brokenness. Oh, well, if you just would have loved yourself a little bit more, you would have saw that coming. You wouldn't have put yourself through that. You would, and I saw somebody post something. I think it was Renee Wonder who said you're accepting yourself for your good and bad. And I love that because there's some things that to an outsider looking in, they would question if you even have respect, let alone love for yourself by some of the things that you do, say, and how you act. But my issue has always been, trying to muster myself up and thinking it's, the shopping and thinking it's the makeup and it's the hair and the, all the things that are external. But the real truth of it is that it wasn't what fulfilled me. So, that is, I think, just coming into an identity of self is the first start of you loving yourself, and not gauging it on what everybody else does or looking over the fence at other queens and saying, oh, well, she does this and she does that, so that means she loves herself. No, don't work like that. So just coming into those moments of brokenness and realizing, or, how you got up. That is my definition of my self-love and self-care.
Okay, so Donna Marie, do you love yourself?
Yes, I do love myself. I do.
And what are the signs of that? How do you know you love yourself?
That's how I feel. No. I know that I love myself because I know that I don't. I'm not actively doing anything besides sugary drinks that would denote that I don't love myself. I mean, I have a healthy esteem most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you like this, and then I'm gonna ask, and then I'm popcorning around intentionally though. Um, if I was one of your daughters, if I was your daughter, one of your children coming to you, Mama, do you love yourself?
What would I say?
Mm-hmm.
I always keep it real with them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Okay, it got deep. LaDonna, do you love yourself?
I do. I do.
How do you know? How can you know that you love yourself?
Well, because I haven't, because I'm not intentionally harming myself. I'm not intentionally, oh, I can't, that's not even true. I was going to say I'm not
Now, this
intentionally,
is the show right here. See how we
I'm not intentionally disrespecting myself.
right.
And I do believe that's true. I'm not intentionally harming myself. Like I'm not causing physical harm to me. I'm not I've had moments where I thought to myself, what if I just mashed the gas and hit a hard left and drove off this bridge? I know that sounds kind of morose, but I mean I've had like crazy thoughts and I didn't act on them. I haven't like caused real bodily harm to myself. Sometimes I'm not kind to me, but I'm not cruel to me anymore. So those things, I'm becoming kinder to myself. I'm considering myself more. That's how I know that I love myself, because I'm beginning to consider myself and the things that make me happy the way I've considered the people that I love. So that's how I know.
I just want to speak to that because I think that, and I think that all of us, or many of us, for the most part, can categorize self-love as as not intentional or not causing intentional harm to oneself. And then maybe the absence of
Oh, Jesus.
toxic behaviors, does that solely denote self-love? Is it only rooted in, okay, let me put it like this. I was in an abusive relationship, and one of the things that my ex said to me, because he slapped me a few times, right? But he was like, at least I ain't never just like hit you with a closed fist and just, just stole on you. And you see what I'm saying? It's like we when we look at what it is, we look at the extreme, right? Even like when you look at anger, most of the time it's like rah, rah, rah. But we don't look at the ways in which one would implode. We don't think about that as anger even. Sometimes we think of it as, stress under control. But we're really a ticking time bomb. We're really that pressure cooker that's just waiting for somebody to push the lever. So I can't say that I love myself solely because I don't do something intentional. It's almost like, even like when you think about the word, right? People think of sin as something that you did that missed the mark, but they don't think about the things that you don't do that you should commit to that are also missing the mark. They think of sex and drugs and gambling and murder and things like that, but they don't think about, okay, are you praying without ceasing? Are you living a life where you are not judging others? And what are the things that you are actively doing? What are those things? We look at the extremes. So when we say that we love ourselves, like, I want to feel a love relationship with myself, a type of intimacy that I haven't experienced with anybody. And that, I believe, I can keep it very real with myself sometimes to a fault, where I might make myself feel bad because maybe I didn't accomplish some goals I wanted to do, and so on and so forth. But when we say love, and most of us don't even know what love is, just period. Like, for real. We don't even just know what love is, period, because we associate it with a way that we're feeling emotionally about a thing that, sometimes we can only say we feeling real love when we feel like this pain that's associated with the love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna stop there.
Well, again, I think that you're onto something, because I also believe that in order for us to really even understand or identify with self-love, that we first have to actually get rid of the facade of what love actually is. Because if I think that love is lust, if I think that love is a fancy and a feeling, if I think that love is, something that it's not, then I am looking to feel something emotionally about myself or for myself that isn't relevant or realistic, especially if I'm equating love to Disney's fairy tales. So I've had to make sure that I even understood what it means to love myself. But first I needed to understand what it meant to love. And to be honest, if I back it up, I needed to really see what it meant for God to love me. And that took some time. That took some real time. That my expectation of receiving it from others. It has taken some real time for me to step back and say, Tony, do you love yourself enough to not be abused, verbally abused, mentally abused, not stepped on, not mistreated? Or are you still operating from a place of abusive, tendencies and mindset in order to earn love? And if you still trying to earn love in order to show love, then you're not operating in love. I can't expect somebody to do something for me that I'm not even exhibiting. They're gonna keep treating me the way that I teach and that I teach them to treat me. And if I'm not loving myself, I can't expect anybody else to love me back. I went on mute. Back, Letitia, you came off of mute. I know
I'm not muted. I'm not muted. I can hear you.
Yeah, we thought you wanted to speak.
Oh no. I'm just taking in.
So my daughter, Champagne, I love you, Champagne. She posted this up. She said, do you love yourself? That's a hard one for any woman. Any woman being honest with themselves. Love in action, it's not easy by any means. I'd say I hurt myself more often than I show myself love. I want to love myself. God knows I do. Woo!
we're our own harshest critics.
So I wanted to, Tom, I'm gonna pull you in on this. The echo is coming from you, Donna. So Tom, I'm gonna pull you in on this one. I watch a lot of old-fashioned movies, y'all. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies, Queen, Elizabeth, and all of those. I love those kind of movies, Sense and Sensibility, right? Where women actually were property and commodity, y'all, and had no value. Like when the husband died, the women had nothing, and another man or a distant cousin man or whatever would come in, and then his responsibility was to take care of all the women folk, in the house, and they had a dowry. If a woman didn't have a dowry, she couldn't get married to somebody. I was like, dang, this is really, really some intense stuff. And so I was thinking about it on the lines of our value and our worth. How far have we come from that? How far have we come from being worthless and having no value in a society that deemed women as property? And then as Black women, we were property and worthless, of no value. So now it's like a double ding, moving into now, with the mass incarceration and the mass exodus of Black men, even in our communities, to be in the heads of households and in society. And I mean, just like what has transpired over the years to get us to where we are today. Black women who are successful, who have been holding it down and trying to figure out how we love ourselves, value ourselves, operate from self-care, and still get dinged left and right for the things that we demand. I mean, like, how do we navigate through these waters, y'all? I'm asking on the real. Y'all, I need some help.
So you asked a lot. You just ran down a whole lot to think about. And I'm still very much on defining love, defining care, and what it looks like. And I'm searching for a simple metaphor, a simple analogy to kind of run it through my own test to see if I get it. So I'm thinking about my mama. My mama is really good at growing plants. My mama's really good at growing plants. And I said, okay, well, let's look at plant care. You get your plant, you put it in, what your plant needs. It needs to be in dirt. It needs to be watered. And when you get real sophisticated about plants, you can get into all types of plant foods. My mom is 69, and when we were kids, there was always at least one jar of eggshells and water under the kitchen sink that she used to water the plants. I don't know the secret or the science of that, but it was necessary. So if I just take that thing, just that, the required steps, so she had the necessary ingredients for the environment. She fed the plant. She checked on the plant's progress. When the plant would get rooted and needed to be moved to a bigger pot, she was aware of when that needed to happen, and she would repot that plant. And I'm looking at that action as care. And I'm going to apply that to the children I gave birth to, because I cared for them. I made sure they had food, clothing, and shelter. When they needed more food, they needed a different type of food besides milk, I gave them that. When they needed a different type of food besides puree, I gave them that. When they needed a different size diapers, when they needed to go from diapers to the toilet, when they needed to go from small shoe to bigger shoe, like I applied those very basic steps of care and attention and praise in the growth that my mama did to the plants when I was a little girl. And if I look at those children, I have a daughter who turned 21 today. I have a son who will be 27 in October. If I look at them and the way they flourish out in the world, I can say, okay, I obviously know how to care for a thing. And I believe that I cared for them in that way because I love them. So if I can just, even if I can't define love, I believe that I have at least one process of expressing love. And so if I go back to what we first started talking about, what is self-care, what is self-love, do I love myself? Then I run a check and ask myself, am I applying that same process to me? Have I allowed myself to get rooted, knowing I need to be in a different pot, but I'm just putting a little bit of more egg water on it? Might not be turning myself towards the sun. More than likely, I'm not doing that little bit of praise. Oh, look at you. Look at your little leaves just sprout. I know I'm not doing that to me. So the love and the care can be improved, but it does exist. I am doing some type of watering to myself. I am spending some time in the sun. But what about those little plant food spikes that I probably could benefit from, the supplements? Am I doing that? What about that bigger pot? What about the moving from this side of the house to the other side of the house? So is my process reflecting the feeling? That's what I'm starting to think about. And that's, if I can, and if I stay in my process, all of those other macro things, we once were considered worthless, and now we once were considered worthless. Now, depending on your level of intelligence, you might be priced out the market. Like, there's just all of these things that we're dealing with, and I may not have the capacity to get into that macro, but I definitely have enough desire to get into my process and apply that to myself.
LaDonna got me over here like, you just shut up now. It's my turn, okay? Let me tell y'all why I done got upset, okay? Because LaDonna, what you just said, I remember the ladies with the eggshells. My grandmother was one of them ladies. Eggshells is all in the greens, everywhere, right? And if you can't take a compliment, you're gonna have some issues. If you always have self-doubt on you, you're gonna have some issues. That's why I think that I'm really soaking this all in, because I know that I'm not the best on this subject. One example, case in point for me, was last year. You know, I was struggling with work, and at least I felt I was. I mean, every time I talked about my job, I was pretty much saying I suck at it. You know, I'm wondering when things are going to turn. Things just wasn't turning the way I wanted them to turn. But I did not take the time to look at what sprouted at all. Growth, progress. So, you know, end of the year, I'm sitting in this meeting, and I was the account manager of the year, okay? But all this time, all year, I didn't have that mentality like I was going to get that award, to where it shocked me. But then I became to be aware of how much I do not look at my sprouting, how much I don't, you know, make a big deal of what is happening in my life. I don't know if it's false humility or what it is, you know, but you're right. You have to change your words. You have to give yourself a little bit more credit than what we do. Like, I literally saw you applauding the sprouts on the plant. And that is the part that I don't do enough for me as a queen. Sitting back saying, hey, you got 18 accounts last year. You topped everybody in the whole corporate wide. I couldn't see that. I just, they say compete, compare. Yet I didn't feel that I was there, but I got that. And it was like, wow, okay. So I think self-care and self-love is giving yourself that hug and that pat on the back like you would do anybody else that is, achieving, accomplishing, getting things done. Do it for yourself. That's it. That's all. You messed me up, LaDonna. Oh.
I have a friend who calls he calls my daughter Pizza Man because of something she said one time we were on the phone together. And he and I had this conversation about self-love years ago because he's always telling me that I'm too hard on myself. And he always says you need to love yourself more. One day I said, what does that mean? He said, anytime you're getting ready to say something about yourself, I want you to say, would I say this to Pizza Man? Mm-hmm. Anytime you get ready to make a comment about yourself, LaDonna, ask yourself, would you say that about your daughter or to your daughter? I was ready to hang up the phone on him. Mm-hmm. Because the things that I say to me, if I heard someone else say to my kid, it's on site. We got a problem. Mm-hmm. The things that I say to myself, I would not say to her. The things I say to myself about myself, the way I criticize myself, just the little ways I pick at me, I would not do it to her or allow it to be done to her. Mm-hmm. And that was that piece of advice helped me curb not only my tongue but my thoughts. I'm now getting the muscle to interrupt those thoughts.
Ooh, she said the muscle. She said the muscle. She said the muscle.
Ooh, it's a practice.
And it's and then the kick is now that I'm learning to interrupt those thoughts, I have to fight back the urge to create the habit to feel guilty for the way I used to hate myself. Mm-hmm. So it's a whole mental gymnastic routine.
Right, right.
So at the beginning, when I said, I know I love myself because I'm not causing this harm, Jesus, I also know I love myself because I see me being kinder to me.
Right.
I see me treating myself a little bit better. I see me applauding myself. I say this to myself. When I make the hard decisions, I say, you're going to be proud of yourself tomorrow for doing that right now. And it hasn't been easy, but it feels good to see myself developing the habit. And that little girl who's 21 today, she's helping me. She helps me. She says, she stopped me and said, man, don't talk about my mama like that.
Okay. Just like that.
Oh my gosh, my children. Tom, I wanted to pull you in too on this. I want to say, my children, oh y'all, glad my babies, especially those daughters of mine. All I have to do is just take a moment and see myself through their eyes, through their words, through their esteem of me. Tama, your eyes literally brightened up when you imagined it. Your eyes literally brightened up because I can see you literally for a moment in your mind, in your mental. We've been so beat down by the external words of others from our past that I remember a friend of mine's friend of mine from years back. He told me, he said, I was like, I wonder how come he was my first love ever. I was like, out of all of the people that I've ever been with, in my life, why do I remember you? Why do I remember like he said, because we're on each other's hard drive. Yeah, that was good stuff. I liked it. It like resonated with me. Felt good. Anyway, there's some stuff. Let me just say it. There's some shit on my hard drive that has to be erased.
For real.
And when my babies look at me, they do not see what's on my hard drive. And they do not speak the same language that is being spoken from that hard drive. So I've had to go back and erase the hard drive. I used to give you this example. My hard drive, what was once on my hard drive, I remember from a not good relationship from my past. He, after an abusive episode, had me stand in front of him naked, looked at me, had me turn around, and I weighed less than I weigh today. Had me turn around in a circle after having after having his children, and looked at me and said, "You disgust me." Whoop, that hit my hard drive, y'all. That landed on my hard drive. I need you to know that from that point forward, subconsciously, I didn't even know it was taking place. But from that point forward, I spent 25 years on lock because, and I blew up because every time I looked at myself, I seen this big old woman that disgusted me. All I was doing was speaking what somebody else spoke and put on my hard drive. And I heard my own self saying it. I loathed myself. I disgusted myself. So in order to unlearn it, because it took my baby Latoya, my daughter Latoya said, "Mommy, we never heard you say anything but affirmative language over us. You always spoke, like we was like the ish, yeah. They so arrogant and all of that stuff. They was like, we got that from you. You was like, you didn't carry yourself like the way that we hear you talk about yourself now." And it got me to thinking, and I was like, what am I doing? And so I began to practice seeing myself, speaking to myself through their words and their affirmation. And Donna Marie, that meant that every now and again, I had to stand in the mirror and look at myself and contend with what was on the hard drive. It took a while, a couple of years, until now it's like, I don't even hear it. I don't even hear it at all, period. Man. Tama, your eyes lit up when I said, if we seen ourselves through the words of our children. What, I mean, your eyes lit up. How does Mizan, Manaya, how do these babies see you?
I had a full circle moment this past weekend, and I broke through some barriers that people might not think were barriers for me. I spent the past 2 months preparing to do a performance with the Stockton Symphony as their guest narrator, and it was a world premiere. And the composer was a woman, and it was in honor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a woman, right on the cusp of Ketanji Brown Jackson being confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. And so there was this woman-centric event that I was being entrusted with, and it was a world premiere. And it's not that I haven't worked with the symphony before. I have, and it's been all kinds of fun. And of course, I got to bring young people onto the stage and workshop them. That's my heart work. But for this time, in order to portray the narration properly, I decided that I would dress in some of the iconic ways that Ruth Bader Ginsburg dressed in. So I had the judge's robe, and I had the South African collar, and I had the cameo earrings. And for the first time, I went on stage with all of my hair pulled back because that was her hairstyle. And it's going to sound funny to some other people who are makeup mavens, but for the first time, I let somebody like beat my face. So, side note, setting spray, what the fuck? So I had brushes and primers and stuff was on my face. I was a canvas. I was a living canvas. And I was afraid because after I left Ulta Beauty, I was like, I got to wash my face and put this back on again. Jesus, no, not Jesus, Mary. Listen, I'm going to need some help on this one. And so I did it and I put everything on and I gave a really, really good performance. And the second day, the matinee, Manaya was in the audience. And my daughter is a jazz singer and she's a jazz vocalist major. But from the time that she's held herself out as a performing artist, it's been me in the audience saying, that's my baby, that's my baby. And this past Sunday a week ago, there was a picture of her and me with her arms around me. And she was like, that's my mama. And it was a full circle moment. And if you see the picture, I am 5'9", damn it. It's just that she's 6 feet, so it makes me look short. But it was that full circle moment of my daughter, who I have had to fight to reclaim my motherly reputation, role, day-to-day existence in, just nakedly loving on seeing her mama, just the pride. And so if you see anything in my eyes, it's that, because part of my self-love journey was having the willingness to blow up a Black fairy tale that surrounded me, and to consciously blow that fairy tale up, to consciously look in that magic mirror and shatter it, and being able to see what was reflected back at me in the pieces, and understanding that acknowledgement, forgiveness, courage, having the willingness to use your anger and pain and actually give it voice, not just internal voice, but to talk to people who may have esteemed you, and being willing to walk off of a pedestal because of the need to be authentic. You can't, for me, I couldn't love myself wearing all of that. So consciously shedding layers of false esteem or unrealistic expectation because it just didn't fit. It was itchy, and I needed to be so much more me than I ever have before, because I have 2 girls watching me. Because, so LaDonna, I got a 21-year-old too. And I have a 35-year-old. And I have 3 grandbears who are young women. And I know that they are watching Nana. What am I showing them? Self-love requires vision on a continuum, seeing yourself in the here and now, but also looking around at who's watching you, who are you impacting. There's not a woman on this panel, in this conversation, or in the audience that doesn't have young women watching, weighing, looking, and trying on what they see of ourselves. Does it fit on me?
Oh my God.
Am I a community organizer? Do I have the courage to rock a fly ass rap on camera? Because everybody else is telling me I need to have a perm. Everybody else needs to tell me I need to be more Western. But do I have the courage to be Afrocentric and beautiful? Every one of us are splash and ripple when it comes to young women. And every now and then you get those moments of affirmation that the thing that you are putting out there, it got planted. You know how when your parents and you raise your kids and you don't know that they really act right until somebody else says, oh, your daughter came over, she washed the dishes. Like, which one? Who? You don't know that stuff is taking root until somebody else tells you. And we have to be, I hesitate in saying we have to be, but we do. We have to be conscious that we are being watched. We are being evaluated.
Yes.
We are being esteemed. Our parents, the women in our lives, either teach us what to do or what not to do. And I think as women and as Black women, we just have to be willing to shoulder that burden as honestly as we can, even if we are showing ourselves breaking. That part's okay, because they learn how to handle brokenness, how to work through brokenness back to wholeness.
So,
but
before you move, because I don't want you to get too far from a spot, Tama. Before you move, LaDonna, what in her daughter sitting in the audience saying, "That's my mama"? What did that awaken in your spirit, Queen?
I saw it.
That it means everything. It means everything to me. To be loved back. If I'm very honest, and I know this is not this conversation, but I'm going to be honest enough to say that I've known women who didn't love their mothers. And when I became a mother, the idea of that terrified me.
Yeah.
So to hear her say, my baby was sitting there watching me with the same pride that I have always watched her, that is a touchdown. That is the field goal. That is the finish line. That is a win. That is a win in a major way, because the truth is, it's not a given. It's not a given. And that moves me. That moves me. Good job.
Yeah, Tama.
Right on.
Yeah, Tama. For real, for real. I mean, and that is major when looking at it like that through that lens. Um, and I won't dig deep into that, but I can say that. And look, y'all know, you know, that fear of cycles repeating themselves, which is why it's so profound to me. You know, that Champagne, Latoya, and Morgan, yeah, yeah. They help me know I must be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Come on from you, Tama.
That part. I used to always say, if I didn't do anything right with my daughters, I taught them to value their natural hair. But these past few years have shown me how many things they watched and took from all of my struggles and my breaking and my ugly, and have shaded it into themselves, and they accept all of it as beautiful. And I am recognizing and learning to give myself credit for being a better mother than I thought.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
So now this makes me want to say that on our own journeys of self-love and self-care, um, when we're not sure, we can at least borrow the reflection.
Mm.
We can borrow the reflection from those who we love and those who have shown evidence that they love us.
You said we can borrow. I really like that, and I want to lean into that. So borrow the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I want to lean into that more because Letitia, whose reflection are you borrowing, sis? Because you can borrow the reflections, you know. Donna, whose reflection are you borrowing? Tish, I'm gonna land on you for a minute because baby, I don't want you to feel excluded any way, shape, or form because in your not being the natural mama, you are the mama to so many, and you are the mama to those babies that other mamas kind of, just don't really feel like they have capacity for anymore. So, whose reflection, baby, do you borrow?
Um, my mom is a given. She's my, the person that I try to please, and not in an unhealthy way, but I've watched her do so much and sacrifice so much for me that I want to be a better woman. Um, but who I borrowed, I believe, is the biggest borrow that I borrowed was my godmother. Um, my godmother, Betty Haynes. And I love her because she was the first person that fought for me, that I can say that honestly. There was a point in life where my mom didn't want her to carry that title because of religion. And I saw this woman come for me often, bring bags, bring clothes, bring everything. She never gave up on me. And when I got to a point where I needed a different type of direction, I showed up on her doorstep. And it was almost 15 years later. And she took me in like we never missed a beat. And my godmother is the person I look at because her situation and lifestyle is a lot like mine, and I understand her heart. And I just love the woman that she is. She's a nurturer. She's a giving person, you know. Um, my aunt, you ask my niece, she's, Auntie, you're mean. But that's just because, I have a standard for you because you're just not here for yourself. That's what my godmother taught me. You're not here for just yourself. So I am a little hard on the nieces and nephews, like, but I borrow it because there was a point in my life where I didn't realize the purpose of me, especially being a woman who never conceived her own child. I was always trying to place myself in situations to feel that void or feel valued until it dawned on me that my purpose was to be light. My purpose was to be me. And it just took away so much of the pain that I felt for many years of not having my own children. And my godmother, she never had a daughter. She only had one son. And so she really, really just, she fought for me. And so I borrow her. I just love spending time with her, love talking to her, laying it all out, telling her the good, the bad, and the ugly about her goddaughter. So yeah, that's who I borrow.
And let me ask you this real quick before I shift, because I'm gonna go over to Donna Marie. um, when you stand and you look at your reflection in the mirror, if you had to cancel this negative self-talk that you might hear, which one of your godchildren or your nieces or your nephews or those that look up to you, whose words can you borrow about you?
Oh gosh. I have a voicemail that I've saved, and it's my nephew Elon. He's autistic. And I'm getting weepy thinking about it. He told me, "You are the best auntie in the world. And I love you so much." And he's the one that I thought could stand my ass. But he loves me. And sometimes when I'm in the gutter of my own thoughts and mind, his face will come up to me, and little things he say, little quirky things, until even my boyfriend says, "Oh, you sound like Elon," because Elon talks and like we do, you know. So that is the part. My sister's children, oh my goodness, they think I am the best thing in sliced bread. They will not. You cannot. My auntie is here. That's just so, you know, that has been my greatest feel is them and how they, you know, really do appreciate me.
Mm.
And I didn't have to try hard for that. I didn't have to buy. I didn't have to, you know, that was a natural gift.
Didn't have to work for it. Don't have to prostitute for it. Don't have to
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
Don't have to earn it. I don't have to be somebody that I'm not and accept stuff that yeah. Woo, Miss Donna. Look, I can't stay there long, y'all, because I'm in the debridement process. So whew, yes, I'm in the debridement process. So I'm scrubbing some dead tissue off. Miss Donna Marie.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope that one of the voices that you would hear in that in your reflection would be mine, because you is absolutely my shero. But Miss Donna Marie, you are the special friend in here that everybody know. I promise you. You speak and bring life to me when I am in the absolute gutter. I know that if I am in the gutter of despair, that I can call you and that you will really real time listen to me and counsel me back to life, like resuscitate me for real. I love and appreciate you for that. I mean, for real, she do, sis. Like she calls cold. She brings out the defibrillators. This woman will jumpstart me.
Well, you know, for me, it's a combination of things that, you know, I was just having a conversation about being stuck in the past. And as I'm continuing to look back at things, I'm sorry, hold on a second. You guys, if you can take your conversation to someplace a little quieter, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I can. I said it a few times before I started talking. Thank you. All right. So in the looking back, oftentimes I would look back at the things that I did not accomplish. I would look back at the things that weighed heavy on my heart, the trauma and those type of things, and learning that there were many good times that I need to look at as well, and remember that they exist. While I knew the reality of what was going on in my life at a particular time with 4 children and being homeless, they didn't know that they were homeless. they didn't know that, they were like, Mom, can we donate to the homeless? I'm like, we are the homeless. I can't give them cans of food away because we need them. We just got them ourselves. But one of my children in particular who has been a challenge and a reflection and shading that Tama talked about, that shading, is Daisy, Dejanique, Day Day. For people who know her, If you know her, you know her government. If you're calling her Daisy, you just met her sometime since she's been doing poetry or something like that. I remember a time that I came home from school and work, which was my custom. I get up 5 o'clock in the morning sometime. I'm walking to school. I worked and went to school at Delta. So I'm walking to school and work by 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm doing this, and this is my routine. And my children are off the hook. They're truants, not going to school, or acting like they're getting ready to go to school and then not going. And it was just a lot of things going on at the time. And it was challenging because I didn't have a consortium of sisters. I didn't have camaraderie. I didn't have friends. I was still relatively new to the community of Stockton. But I remember coming home one day and my daughter, Dejanique, asked me, "Hey, Mom, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, and then I stopped. So she asked me how I was doing. Like, my children never consulted me about how I was doing and how I felt and what was going on. She asked me that, and oh my gosh, if I just didn't break down and cry, because it was just like somebody like cares about me. It wasn't what's for dinner, can I go over here, I need this, so and so made me mad. It wasn't nothing but how are you doing? And I can't say that I've ever felt that cared for. Again, I am discovering that as much as people love me, many of my relationships have been rooted in what people desire from me, what it is that I give to them, how I make them feel. And I'm questioning the authenticity and the realness of some of my closest, most intimate relationships. I'm full today, and I don't know what it's all about right now. But when we talk about healing, we have learned, like I am a phenomenal actress. Catch me off stage. You would never know. Catch me off stage. You would never know my real truth. When I did finally leave my husband, I told him, I said, we've been doing this relationship for the fans, for the onlookers. And I've been on stage long enough with this show.
Mm.
And I believe that us good women, I'm saying it with a whole lot of, we learn how to fake. We know how to go to church and show up and be holy. We know how to show up at work and be the cheerleader. We know how to show up in our communities and push the margins. We know how to do that. But like when it comes to healing, like, is that just prayer? Is it just, is it just a chant in a bowl, and is it a glass of wine? Is it getting your feet in the grass and being grounded? Is it smoking a blunt? Yes, I see you, Tish. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is healing? Because we know how to. I believe that's what this conversation is talking about, and I believe that we've talked about a lot of things. We've said that we've done it. We've said that we've experienced it, but like, what did you do? Because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to get up every morning at a particular time and journal? Do I need to? What is the walk towards the healing? I know it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's about learning what it is for you. For me, it's finding a stage somewhere where I can put all my fake and my funk into a character. But I have been a character my whole fucking life. Let me just say that. I'm a character. I know how to do this. I know how to make it look real good, but I am not healed. I have not been experiencing it. Right now, I couldn't tell anybody the first thing about how to get to it. I know how to get away from it. I know how to quiet it down. I know how to sleep it. I know how to sex it. I know how to smoke it. I know how to drink it. I know how to do a whole bunch of stuff. But
So look,
are we really healed or healing?
mm-hmm. So look, I'm gonna show a video, but before I show the video, I'm going to. Now I've spoken this, I'm talking about this debridement process, and I'm gonna ask God as I speak this that you please help me and give me wisdom. Tama, Letitia, after being busted up, cracked, and broken, beat down, abused, kicked to the curb, mislabeled, branded, and hurt over and over and over again. And I'm not a victim. Let me say it again. I'm not a victim. Let me say it one more time. I'm not a victim. I know how to act like a victim. I know how to take on the role and the characteristics and attributes of a victim. But I can tell you that what I have learned about myself is that what I am not is a victim. So I allowed myself to play the victim role and to be in that position for long enough until finally at some point, Tama, when I would look in the mirror, LaDonna, I'm going to use this analogy because I realized that that's what was happening. When I would stand in the mirror and look at myself, Tama was speaking to me. When I would stand in the mirror and look at myself, Tia was speaking to me. I started getting surrounded by queens that did not speak to me the same words in the same language that the others that was throwing shade and wearing masks and villainizing my abusers, the people that were using me. The people that wanted all that rich stuff that was in me, they weren't speaking. They valued it, and they weren't speaking the same language of misuse and mistreatment. They were speaking to the greatness of who I was. They were speaking to the value of who I was. They were speaking to queen, elder. They seen a queen before they seen an elder. So when I would stand in front of the mirror and look at myself through all of these labels and stuff that was demeaning me and keeping me in a crippled place because I was trying to earn my way out of the labels. And now I'm hearing people that are talking to me and they don't understand. Wait a minute, why are you acting this way? That's not you. Why are you? So I'm standing in the mirror and Tama is looking at me, not understanding. Tisha's looking at me and not understanding why I have this big gaping open wound on my leg. They're not understanding how come you got high blood pressure, high cholesterol. How come you 395 pounds? They didn't treat me like I had an open wound and I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, bent over in pain, racked and back breaking and all that stuff. But for sure, they were speaking to me differently, but they were walking through this journey with me and didn't understand why I was allowing these things to take place. Tama would sit and hold my hand while they would debride the wound on my leg because it was so painful. They were treating it like a burn. They would take a scrub brush and scrub the raw tissue on my leg. I'm having to not look at the chat so that I can stay focused. And Tama held my hand when they would take the bandage off of the stinking wound. It stunk. It smelled bad. And she sat with me while they scrubbed it. And one day in my kitchen said, I don't know how it is that you do it. How do you get up every day and walk into this environment where you are not loved and not respected and mistreated and you still show up for them? How? I don't understand how you do it. And in that moment and instant, I realized that somebody sees me. I was still scared to acknowledge it and scared to talk about it. When I got to Tisha's house and I finally made the big jump and I said, okay, I'm going to stop this madness and take care of me because I'm so broken. And Letitia was like, I support you and I'm so proud of you. And I'm looking at her like, wait, you're proud of? She said, I'm so honored that you would come and stay in my house and even let me, I'm paraphrasing in my words, you're letting me. You're switching roles. Instead of me, you being the one that is here pouring out to me, you're coming in and letting me pour into you. She literally said, she was like, and she would always be, oh, I'm in the tap out crew. Oh, I'm a part of I'm the
Yeah.
healing process. So what I'm saying is, step one, I needed to let God replace the people that I picked for the people that were worthy of being in my inner circle. God had to start removing folks from my life, from the highest rank to the lowest rank, and replace them with people that he deemed worthy enough to be close enough to me in order to hold my hand while they scrubbed my wound. To tell me, Tish will walk past my bedroom door, knock on the door and say, nigga, get up. You ain't staying in the bed today. Get your ass up and get dressed. Hell no, not on my watch. You going to somebody's church. You ain't going to stay here. I'm not going to hell because the elder done stepped down and she ain't going to church no more. So you better go somewhere. She was sending me videos of words and all that stuff. Anybody that it made me realize that anybody that thought this woman was not saved, anybody that thought that this woman did not have a relationship with God, I'm sorry, you're sorely mistaken, because God used this queen to heal my spirit back to life. When I was busted up and kicked to the curb.
The cussing Christian.
I'm saying that there were practical things. There were some real practical things that I had to do. But step one was I had to change the crowd. I had to let God change my crowd. There were expectations that I had of people in my inner circle, and they were sucking me dry, but not pouring into me. They were comfortable getting under my cracks while I was broken and drawing from an anointing, but did nothing to ensure that that crack got healed so that I too could benefit from the anointing in my life. And God removed them and said, no more, shake the dust from your feet, come on and sit down, and I'm going to surround you with some very unique people that value you. My sister circle began saving my life. Clear, resuscitating my heart back to life. I found safe spaces, Donna, that I could go in and talk. In Sacramento, when I met LaDonna, they didn't judge me. And guess what? They didn't go back and tell everybody what I shared in those spaces.
Yeah.
There's more, but I'm gonna pause there. I had to do the work. That wound started healing 6 months after I stepped down. When I stepped down and said, no more, when I made the decision that I was going to put me first, and I became selfish with my kids, selfish with my family, selfish with my job, selfish with my self-care, self-love, selfish. And when I got selfish and said, I'm going to die if I keep doing it this way, I need to love me. Let me figure out how. Let me get the help that I need. I started applying principles. Yoga, I'm going to do it. Oh, you shouldn't practice yoga. You're going to go to hell. Well, you know what? Let me see if that's really true. Let me see if God's going to show up on the yoga mat. And so I started doing yoga, healing bowls and healing circles and sound bowls and all of that stuff. I don't know if these people are bound for hell. They don't feel like a witch to me. You said I was. Maybe they're not. Let me go hang out with them for a minute and see what's really going on. I sought out healing. I tried things different. I did something that was out of the ordinary, extraordinary. And my wound is closed. My leg is healed. I'm 100 pounds lighter because I shed a whole bunch of body's weights. I'm learning to use my voice so that I'm not choking and strangled because I'm being held hostage because I'm trying to sit on everybody's secret. I'm advocating for myself. Damn it. And I feel good about it.
Oh, yes.
What you think?
Oh, yo, shit. Yes. Yes.
Ooh, at this point, I'll be in a row. Shut up, Tony. Stop it.
Yes. So I want to share with y'all. I went off camera for a brief second because my twin, Sarita Lee, my twin called me. I said, twin, what you doing? I said, girl, I'm on this podcast. Get on it. She said, let me get on it. And she came on. So I've got to talk about my sister.
Wait, where's she? Oh, okay. I'm like, do I need to bring her into the chat?
So when my sister logged in to the podcast, she logged in right as Donna Marie was talking about being an actress and being on stage. And that's my sister's heart's desire. So I'm already juiced because the two of we believe in that divine timing. So she came in, and from the time she touched down, there was resonance, right? So let me tell you something else about my twin. My twin loves scripture. So and I got so wrapped up, I can't remember what the first thing Tony said. I said, "Ooh, I know twin, she on it, right?" So I'm super geeked up right now because the thing that I say all the time, because it is the truest, it is the truth in my life. Sisterhood saves. Yes. When women come together, and there is trust amongst us, and we bond, we will bond because we are female. We will bond because we have shared experience. We will bond because we resonate with each other's stories. And in that resonance, in that circle of women, we will heal each other. Just inevitably, women will heal. And so for me, this concept of sisterhood, of women coming together, I say it all the time. This is my motto and my movement. Sisterhood saves. Your sister will save you. And so for me, I have a twin sister. So when I said I mean it on hella levels, I mean it on all the levels, because this one, right? My twin sister has literally said to me, LaDonna, you look like you hate yourself, twin. What's going on? And she will say, okay, twin, you look like you love yourself again. Right?
Right.
So when I hear Miss Tony say, I'm standing in the mirror and I'm hearing Tama, I'm laid in the bed and Letitia's knocking at the door. I'm over here screaming and pumping my fist. Yes, because your sister will save you. It's part of it might be our divine assignment on the planet. But we got this, and we got each other. We got each other in a way we got each other so tough. Man. Your sisterhood will save us.
Donna Marie, your sisterhood will save you.
I believe that. And I'll also believe that there's some accountability to some work that I need to do. As a matter of fact, I know that.
Because the biggest thing was stepping out. I had to step out of the thing that was crippling me. And it was the straw really that was breaking the camel's back. There was a whole all my life of things, but I had to be willing to step out of that. I want to share this and then give us opportunity to pick it apart, because y'all that are watching, you have asked practical steps. What are some practical steps that we could take in order to begin to apply healing? Well, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's healing journey is different. Everybody's process is different. What worked for me may not work for you. And I'm going to drop this link in the chat as well, so that you all can see it. But I'm going to play this video. I'm not going to play the whole video, but I am going to play a few minutes of it. Her name is Portia Jackson Preston. And I really, really appreciated that she shared some of her story. And then she gave us 6 practical steps that I want us to take a look at. Can we hear?
What do you think of when you hear the term self-care? I used to think self-care meant massages, pedicures, and retreats. It was a reward, a luxury of time and resources. So, what changed? 7 years ago, I experienced 2 life-defining moments within 2 months of each other. The first was earning my doctorate in public health. The second was being diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. As I prepared to enter a career in management consulting, I was bursting at the seams, literally. The medications that I was taking were leading to uncontrolled weight gain. Still, I wanted to make a good impression. My first client required 4 days of travel per week. I worked long hours without complaint. In fact, I barely noticed when each day walking from my office building to my rental car became more and more of a struggle, and my legs were beginning to feel like they were tightly packed into my skin like sausages. It wasn't until I was in my hotel room that night and I couldn't sleep from the pain that I began to realize something might really be wrong. So I did what anyone might do in that situation. I turned to Google for answers. When it failed to provide me with a clear diagnosis, I reluctantly asked my manager to meet me in the hotel lobby and drop me off at the emergency room on her way to work the next morning. There, I found out that a blood clot had formed in my lower right leg. If you're keeping track, I was now dealing with chronic kidney disease and a blood clot. And if you think that because I have a doctorate in public health, I listened to my doctors when they told me that 2 medical conditions and a stressful career were a bad combination, and that this led me to an epiphany on the urgency of self-care, you'd be mistaken. I was paired up with a peer mentor from the National Kidney Foundation to help me wade through my diagnosis. I can remember asking her several times early on, exactly how hard can I push without getting sick? She listened and she was patient, but she would never answer my question. It wasn't until I went through multiple periods of disability leave related to my condition that I was ready to change and my question shifted. Instead, I asked, how can I best take care of myself? I had to redefine my identity outside of what I did for a living. I thought about what first ignited my passion for public health. I wanted to understand how cultural and social factors shape the health of Black women. Growing up in South Central LA, I'd experienced firsthand how preventable medical conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes were ravaging the lives not only of Black women in my community, but in my own family. I reflected on my cultural messaging. I had grown up surrounded by strong female role models. Many of them were the first in their families to attend college. They worked in environments where they weren't always treated fairly or with respect. And I now realize the same strength I saw as admirable was also a burden, a survival mechanism that often meant their own needs came last. Health problems often took their lives prematurely or compromised their quality of life. Next, I reflected on broader societal messages that I received around success. Phrases such as work hard, play hard, or burn the midnight oil, or worse, you can sleep when you're dead, rang through my head. I realized I believed that the roadmap to success required me to prioritize work and study over less important tasks, including self-care. In fact, I've been rewarded all along for neglecting to care for myself. And now my recovery depended on me disrupting that cycle. I decided to define self-care for myself as any practice that helped me to manage my stress and promote my well-being. I'd like to use a self-care assessment that has been widely adopted by researchers and practitioners to walk you through 6 categories of self-care that I applied in developing my own plan. My physical self-care includes walking or dancing for a minimum of 30 minutes, 5 days per week, and accessing routine medical and dental care. My psychological self-care involves writing in a journal daily for self-reflection. This allows me to better understand my needs, set realistic expectations, and process stressful situations. My emotional self-care means having compassion for myself every day of my life. My spiritual self-care involves connecting regularly with my source of faith and hope, being part of a faith community, and spending time in nature. My relational self-care involves regularly scheduled downtime with my husband and other family, as well as my friends. And finally, my professional self-care involves pursuing work that is invigorating for me, setting boundaries around that work, and establishing mechanisms for support from peers and mentors. I didn't figure this all out alone. I had help from family, from friends, from therapists. With the help of my doctors and trainers, I decreased my stress, improved my nutrition and physical activity regimen, found effective medications, and shed 40 pounds from my highest weight over time, eventually entering remission. Today, I feel better and stronger than before. The self-care practice I shared with you continues to evolve as I go through new challenges. I still struggle occasionally with anxiety and insomnia, and I still go through sudden, unexpected health events. This past year, I was diagnosed with fibroids, benign tumors growing in my uterus.
I dropped the thing in the link, a link in the chat for those of you that want to watch the rest of the video because I found it to be very helpful. But I want to tap into that. She said a couple of things that I want you guys to lean into. She said disrupting the cycle. That's what I was talking about. So what I did, I disrupted the cycle. But then she also gave us 6 things, that 6 practical areas of self-care that she's had to lean into. And so I just want to hear you guys some feedback on what did you guys take away from that? And how do you guys see people being able to implement these things, in practical ways by your example?
what sticks out to me is she listed 6 different areas, and it shows where we can get imbalanced and even trying to take care of ourselves. If I feel good about, let's say I feel pretty strong in my spiritual self-care, so I lean on that, and I'm not putting a whole lot of energy into my physical self-care because I'm feeling like the spiritual should cover most of it.
Yes.
Or if I'm focusing on my emotional self-care and relational self-care, then that's shoring me up to be able to stay in a job I can't stand. So there are a lot of layers, and being balanced in all those layers becomes its own goal.
Be balanced in all areas of self-care.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways? What else?
So I'm going to tap in with a little bit of a different perspective, because while I do appreciate the checklist of 6 different areas, I think there is a little bit of tyranny as an undercurrent, that you do these things and you will achieve balance. And we have to allow for the fact that on any given day, the math of this is going to be off. The alchemy of it is going to be off. And that we're going to be imbalanced in certain areas, and that's okay. That today's recipe, you know how you cook something one day, but you need like to taste it the next day so that the flavors settle. And when you're cooking it, you got to correct the seasoning. You have to be willing to correct the seasoning of this recipe, and recognize that some days you're going to lean more into your emotional self-care. And that means that your professional self-care may kind of cycle out. It's okay, because the day after, your professional self-care will get right back in line, and something else may be cycling out. To seek the perfect balance at all times is unrealistic. We are human beings. We are Black women in America. Shit's gonna fly off the handle and be imbalanced at any given time, any given day. If we accumulate the tools, if we practice the tools, we know that we can reach into our bag and like, okay, this is kind of out there, but I can fix this part. I might have to let that part go. Give yourself grace. Give yourself room. Excuse me. Give yourself room to not be in control of it all. That's the root of so much of our imbalance. Is thinking, if I could just get the perfect recipe, I'm gonna have all this shit together. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Can you say that again, ma'am? I'm a Libra. And
ma'am, I'm gonna need you to know that your scales are always gonna be unbalanced at some part of your living, waking experience.
LaDonna, I'm a Gemini. Me and LaDonna supposed to be together.
He said, "My Libra self seeks balance." Watch this, Libras. Let me do it like this then.
But that's okay, because you're going to seek balance. You're not going to achieve it, and even when you achieve it, it's going to be momentary. Because I promise you.
Wait. She's saying the same thing over and over again. So watch this, Libras. Here we go. 100% is 100%. You got 6 categories. What percentage do you need from all 6 in order to make 100%? What we're saying is, do we need an equal? So let's say we don't have 6, 5. Make it easy for me, right? And so that's 20 from each area if we only had 5. But I may need to have 25 from one because I only have 15 from another and 20 from the others in order to still balance out at 100. You with me? So we're saying we need 100% balance at all time, LaDonna, but we may be more on the physical side and a little bit less on the spiritual side. But as long as we are compensating, and it's going to still harmoniously balance out, and we need to show ourselves grace in all of those different areas. Did I get it right?
Absolutely. Get your tools. Get all your tools. And then just remember, you're not going to be able to use all of them at once.
All right, Gemini, you over here cutting up. What?
Well, the Gemini says, turn the back on the other one. Like, I ain't dealing with it today. Okay. Or, just bring the other twin there. I love it because it's something that I need to really stay focused on. As far as balance, I loved how she broke down, the physical part, the emotional part, the journaling, the writing, especially if you deal with a lot of negative self-talk. Writing is an indispensable tool, because you can get that stuff out and, do the actual, as we said something, the war, and those words will affirm you in your own words. But what I think I loved the most was her last one, number 6. And number 6 was last because it's ought to be last, 5-1. And, her making time for her husband and her family and her friends and scheduling time for that. I think that I've always had an imbalance for me personally because, I was always alone. I didn't have any children. I didn't have, a mate, what I'm saying? So it was always, I was seeking other things when I could have been journaling and I could have been writing. I could have been 30 minutes working out. I sought people. And so, just being balanced with people and you can kind of be okay with saying, okay, I can fall back because there's some other areas that I didn't put in nothing in that pot. So I think what I'm going to do is get me, 6 little pots and, some pennies around here and be like, did you put a penny in that today? Did you? No, I didn't. Let me go ahead and put something in there. So, whatever we got to do, we're going to get there. 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 And we're going to hold each other accountable. And we're going to have celebrations. I can't wait to talk about our successes. Anyways.
I'm excited about this. So I feel Thomas, her brain always spinning. And so I feel like we're going to have 6 little pots coming our way.
Yeah.
The Queen Consortium. 6 little pots.
Shut up.
Miss Donna Marie, what was you thinking on that one? Come off of mute. I already know you need to go, have some medicinal help here.
What was I thinking on what one? On what the woman said?
Yeah. Did you listen to the woman?
I did. I listened to the woman.
Okay.
I did. I don't know if this is what Tama was saying or not. But this is what I feel like she was saying. And maybe this is what I'm going to say. Okay. I believe that it is a slippery slope to get caught up in psychobabble. I don't have another word for it. Some of it sound good. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. I totally believe in the power of therapy and positive thinking and doing good things for your body and wellness and so on and so forth. But that's a part of to me, that's the part of this is the way we do the thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, really? Okay, tell me about when you was snotting in the middle of the night in pain because them fibroids had you fucked up. How did you recover from that? You know, now I got a list. And you know, and she got a list, and it's a good speech. It was great. It was great. And it could work when applied for some. Why are you laughing?
So are you saying that you don't think
she gonna give me the cussing adjustment?
Right. I gotta speak my truth.
Okay, because this is Donna all day. It got to be some advocate, devil's advocate sitting in the back. Okay, so yes, you do. Why are you doing that, Donna?
What I do?
I'm gonna mute myself. I'm trying to hold it together. I'm ready to, you know.
Are you insinuating that she's just giving a list that's not something that she applied?
I don't know what she applied. She probably did because she wrote the list. She did something.
So
and it worked for her. And
wait, Donna, look, Donna. So let me do you like you would do us on a good, different kind of day. We don't want to say a good day.
Because I didn't been there or done that.
Okay, well, good. So Donna, what I believe, I hear trauma, and it's a possibility that you might be speaking from a place of.
I told you I was full today. Ain't nobody miffed about where I'm at.
You know what? I'm not. I'm so not.
I got some stories to tell. I'm gonna tell you how to get you some healing. Oh Jesus! I'm gonna sprinkle some sage and some fairy dust and.
So here's what we're gonna do. So y'all, we're gonna get the buckets. We're gonna get the buckets and send them to Donna. Donna, we sending you 6 damn buckets, and what you're gonna do is put a penny in each one of the buckets. Mm-hmm. We holding you accountable. You can't knock it till you try it. Are you willing to try it?
Yes.
Okay, now I want to bring y'all remembrance.
Come on, LaDonna, go ahead.
Donna Marie, I'm on Etsy right now. So
I want to bring y'all remembrance to our good sister Erykah Badu. She wrote a song called the title of the song is "I Want You," and she's talking about love, and she says, I found a good book and got all in it. I tried a little yoga for a minute, but it wouldn't let go. I tried to turn the sauna up hotter. I drank a whole jar of holy water, but it wouldn't let go. Right? She said, I prayed to early May. I fasted for 30 days.
Ooh, I can't.
Earlier when Donna was like, I could smoke it, I could drink it, I could bathe in it, I could this and that and the third, but where does the healing come from? And I submit to you that the healing comes in the pursuit of the healing. I say do all them things. I say do every last damn one of them things. Drink the drink, smoke the smoke, fast, run, pray, sit still, watch the movie, eat the steak, don't eat the steak, sex it, sin it, twerk it, breathe it, stop, baby, turn formatted, do everything in pursuit of your healing.
See, I knew there was a reason why we shared the same name, and see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the real. Cause see, I can feel that right there. You know what I mean? I totally can. I totally can.
I'm still gonna get 6 buckets, nigga. You still gonna get 6. You still gonna get 6 buckets, okay? As you doing all those things, we're gonna be like, okay, I smoked 3 pennies. Put them in there. I jumped on this right here. Put it in there.
Shout out the Erykah Badu song when she said something about I got 3 pennies and a dime or something, and what she say?
She said I was born underwater with $3 and 6 dimes. You might
yeah. That's the money.
Okay.
Again, that's 360. That's all of it. Hit every point on the spectrum as you are pursuing. You're in pursuit of your own wholeness.
I'll be back. I'm right here. I can hear you.
You are in
I can hear
pursuit
you.
of actualizing your own divinity. Like this is me getting on my. Don't let me get too far on my thing, and we got 2 more minutes to close. But when we get to our healed state, our highest state, when we reach that nirvana, the whatever, I believe the whole goal of living is to experience, experiment, become, and actualize your own divinity, to reach your own godness, to manifest your God self. And I know that's not this conversation, but you know, I have my theories, I have my opinions, I have my ways of moving and grooving. But healing comes in the pursuit of it. Come on, twin.
That's what it is.
The pursuit
Okay.
of everything. Everything.
Love and spiritual gifts.
We're gonna have to have Sarita on our next
We
call.
we gotta get a caravan for this next thing we finna do. I'm gonna have to throw y'all in the car. We got to go.
Yeah.
We're finna go on the road.
She said, I'm doing everything now. She said, I'm finna save it, smoke it, drink it. Can you please share some? I can go back and watch. Absolutely. Yes. I'll drop the link to the conversation from YouTube so that you can go back and check it out. So watch this. We're about to wrap up. And here's what I want to do. We're going to popcorn around. And I like doing it like this sometimes. I don't do it all the time, but some of the time. So, Queens. This nigga.
No, she's not. I'm so tired. Oh gosh.
Somebody say Nam Yoho Renge Kyo.
Hey, LaDonna, you see
the cake, Eddie Ray.
Y'all didn't catch that.
My village. And it's something I'm telling y'all now, y'all don't even know. Y'all give me so much life. Like, y'all give me life for real. Donna, I'm done with you though. Donna Marie, I'm done.
What's
with
that?
you.
Oh, wait.
Okay, so let me mute her.
Yes, please.
Look at Keisha. I can't stand it.
I saw it.
Okay, so here now get on the serious tip. Here we go. We're finna get on the serious side. If you could go
Are
back,
you about to smudge us, Donna Marie?
if you could, I'm gonna need y'all. Can y'all get serious for a minute? We gotta wrap up.
Listen here. I'm smudging me. Okay. That's what I'm doing. Hey, listen.
I have no control of
I'm
y'all.
doing all of it. I didn't
Stop it.
smudge. I didn't my bowl singing over here. And
Somebody
and I'm
in the
gonna have
chat
my
done said.
libation a little bit later.
Somebody
and
in
we're
the
all
chat,
good.
Donna. Somebody in the chat done started chanting for you.
Hey,
You know.
Okay, so based on the conversation that we've had today, if you could give some advice to the younger you, your younger self, the 20-year-old you, based on this conversation today, I want you to imagine yourself standing in the mirror and you're looking at your 20-year-old self. What would you want? Yeah, what would you want to say to your 20-year-old self? Donna, I'm going to take you out the room and put you in the green room.
I'm gonna take that one right off the top.
Okay.
can
Tommy?
I go first? Can I go first?
No,
you
no.
cannot.
Okay.
So to every not even 20-year-old, to every woman that is standing in the mirror, break the damn mirror and act like the woman you have in your head. Break the damn mirror and act like the woman that you have in your head, the woman that you know that you are. Your aspirational woman, your inspirational woman does not conform to the physical limitations of your eyesight, because your eyesight has been trained by society, by family, by church, by lovers, by ex-lovers. Break the damn mirror, first and foremost. Okay, Donna, you can go.
We wrapping up, Donna.
Okay, you be wrapping up.
You're in the mirror.
It gets better. Just hold on. Everything is not what you see.
Mm.
It's subject to the experience.
I got a good one. And God just dropped it in my spirit. You got a good one. I got a good one. LaDonna, is it okay if I have you go last? Tish?
Oh, what I would say to my 20-year-old self. Y'all ready?
God, I love you.
Why keep buying milk when you the whole damn cow? Why keep buying milk when you the whole damn cow? You hear it. I've heard it because I've always had struggle with weight and self-image. People have broke me down. And people will flip it and say, why buy the milk when you, and why why buy the cow when you could just, the negative connotation the world has made it. I want to flip that on my 20. I am the cow. Why am I buying into the ideas and all the stuff that people are feeding me when, man, you know how much this is worth? My worth is just way more than just being watered down, being used for that particular section. I'm just worth way more. And I'm done buying the milk. Done buying the milk.
So I'm standing in the mirror in my 20-year-old self, and I see my 53-year-old self look back at me. I know I can trust what she has to say to me. So I'm leaned in listening. And she says, your sister circle said, look further. Fix your eyes. Get your eyes checked. Because you're not seeing far enough ahead. Look further than what it is that you are seeing. And I say that because that came from Miss LaDonna in a sister circle. And that's what dropped in my spirit just now. My 20-year-old self needs to know that life does not stop where she sees it in that mirror that day. She needs to look much further. Miss LaDonna, take us out.
When you first asked the question, I had kind of it was going to sound like a joke, but it was very serious. I would tell my 20-year-old self, take vitamins and use condoms. But the longer I sat here and the more I remembered exactly where I was at 20, I would also say, go now so you don't regret it later. I wanted to go a lot of places when I was 20. And I didn't go any of those places. And I'm still trying to figure out how to get there almost 30 years later. That's my mom.
Oh my God.
Miss Etta.
Hi, Miss Etta. God bless you. It is such an honor to actually have you even in this space.
Yes. See
See,
past your personal pity party.
yes, you are
Yeah,
worthy.
worthy.
I'm taken away from this group.
That's right.
Woo.
Why buy the milk when you the cow?
Okay, you guys, I absolutely so
I don't
please,
know, Donna. I was
y'all,
gonna tell mine to stop having babies.
stop having. You know what? I'm done with you. Ooh, wee, man. Oh yeah,
I love
right.
all of them. I'm glad they're all purpose to be here. No, that was probably
Look.
poor taste. Joke, but I love my babies.
That's another thing that I would tell her. Yes,
I mean,
children-
slow down. Have them a little later.
I wouldn't tell myself that either. Your
Sprinkle
children are your saving grace. Your children are your saving grace. Every sacrifice that you are about to make for these children that God has blessed you with is worth it, and it's going to be 100-fold.
True.
150-fold. That's on the real.
And Letitia, that includes your children, because I make a distinction, because there's the children that I gave birth to, and then there's the children that I accumulate and can't seem to get rid of.
Right. I got cheering. I sure do.
Okay, Queens, I love y'all. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to tap out from the live stream, but I want to have us debrief a few minutes before we actually leave this space. So if you can hang with me for a minute. Everybody that is joined into the conversation, we love y'all. Those that tapped in from LinkedIn, from Twitter, from YouTube, from Facebook, we appreciate you. I'm going to drop the YouTube link, Keisha, in the conversation. In order for you to be able to tap in and see it from the beginning. This has been rich. And so this is the Queen Consortium, and we come together every month just to have a casual conversation. It's free for y'all to tap in. Y'all can be a part of the panel if y'all want to join us. I'm dropping links in there for everything. But we appreciate you all. You are a blessing. And y'all, I love y'all. Y'all give me life. So stick with me for a minute. Facebook Live and everybody else, peace. We'll see you next month.